Hi. Hello. Welcome back to me tooling around in Blender as if I know what I'm doing. I hope you're having a good Sunday. It's been a nice, relaxing weekend for me overall. Some of you might saw I put out a YouTube short yesterday. I spent quite a good number of hours this week learning, as I kind of mentioned on Twitter, just learning how to even work DaVinci Resolve, because I was previously using CapCut and I barely knew how to use that. And then, just kind of through the algorithm, I was recommended that I should actually be using a better piece of software, and DaVinci Resolve turned out to actually be pretty good once I understood, how exactly it worked and how the artist brain was laid out. Because as Dirt Nulk put it, we were joking about it because we were both working on our own separate projects. He was talking about why does this program feel like it's not made for people who don't use computers, and I kind of could agree. Some of the things were egregious as far as like, how do I save anything? Why do I go to a different tab to save things? Why is navigation kind of ass? Why are things glitchy? But I mean, overall, it was fine and it worked out. I'm fairly proud out of my YouTube short. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It's not the best thing in the world, but for a first shot at putting out a short form video, a highlight, I'm happy with it. I'm also planning on putting out more clips, because there's definitely at least like 4 or 5 other moments from the last 2 streams that were clip worthy, in my opinion. I could make something out of them. I have some ideas in my head. And I plan to get to those within the next, probably over the next week. Hopefully before I go on vacation next week. So I will, I address this in a, it's not Twit longer exactly. It's a YouTube longer, a community longer. I don't know, but a gigantic ass post I made when I first started coming back for streaming last week. I do in fact have a vacation coming up for the last week of June. Now, you might say, Crash, this is a horrible time to actually go on vacation. You're getting a little bit of minimal traction with your videos. Why would you stop now? You want to keep the momentum going. And random person I'm strawmanning in my head with, yeah, you're entirely right. Unfortunately, this was planned at the beginning of the month before MagMammo 3 got announced, which was the thing that catalyzed me to come back to streaming. And unfortunately, that means I kind of can't undo my vacation, because I already have tickets purchased to go to different cities to visit my family. And so I can't really undo that now, and the reason I had to take the vacation is because my work's, some PTO at work was expiring, so can't exactly just let that go. I want my days off, and I do want to see my family and friends, so I will be taking that vacation, even if it's probably detrimental to the current channel growth. But hopefully I will have some downtime, just like, say, at night after, activities with family is done, or, I'm home from being with my friends, shit like that. And I can at least work on video editing at home. Maybe release a couple more shorts the next week. But, the TLDR, or TLDL, I guess, Too Long Didn't Listen, is that I am not streaming next weekend because I am on planes or at kind of a shit internet connection / just like hanging out with people I want to hang out with. So yeah, that's unfortunately time to pause inactivity, but I don't know, hopefully we'll recover from it. Hopefully MagMammo 3 won't suddenly be dead news by the time I get back at the beginning of July. So yeah, I don't know, with that, we might as well get to the content of today's stream. I'm just gonna be following the Blender tutorial again, working on, I believe we're on part 8 of the Blender tutorial, Blender Guru's donut tutorial. Yeah, I'll be resuming this. I'm thinking about maybe stopping as soon as it already started, but like stopping the art streams just because like I know it's not super entertaining right now. It's mostly just me
So
watching a video and following along. I don't have much to say about it, unlike Mega Man, which I have things to say about. So, you know, I won't say the end of art streams, but maybe once I start making my own assets as I wanted to, for the VRoid model, and when I actually get confident in working in Blender, I'll probably return to streaming it. But I think today might be the last time I do the Donut Blender tutorial. It was a neat idea, I think, but you know, it's marred by the fact that there's just not a hell of a lot going on. So not a lot for me to say, not a lot for me to clip, not a lot to be exciting about. That's also kind of hard to advertise. There's no good hashtags for it. I mean, I don't want to just hashtag Blender and open myself up to every Blender critic in the world. You know, I'm at least confident in my Mega Man abilities, so I could do that, but I'm not confident in my Blender abilities, especially when it's just like, oh, here's some doofus following along a tutorial. So, yeah, I think this will be the last time I stream the tutorials for a while. But I'll probably still be working on it every Sunday. So, you know, if I ever get the itch to actually stream what I'm doing, then I'll do so, you know. Yeah, I certainly will keep people in the loop about what I do in Blender. I really want to get my VRoid model done because I'm itching to kind of get to something a little bit more dynamic than a talking PNG. It's a little bit static. So, you know, I want to work on that, though also I have to work on clipping a stream, doing that, because I'm not like spending money and hiring somebody at this point. Like, I'm not just gonna start, you know, burning cash. So I don't know, time management skills, we'll get there. But you know, management of your time is important too, and that's why we're going to stop talking and just start following along the Blender tutorial in case you're actually here for that content. So let me just stop the stream background audio and we can get to listening.
We're going to be coloring our sprinkles finally, so it doesn't look so depressing, and then also getting into rendering to start making this actually look pleasing with shadows and light and everything else.
Learn how to render.
So first of all, the sprinkles. Now, as you probably know, you could come in here and you could select a sprinkle and then go, all right, I'm going to make a red sprinkle, and then I'm going to, don't do this by the way, I'm just showing you, make this aqua sprinkle.
Doesn't feel that inefficient,
and then,
but
blue
what's he got
sprinkle,
to say?
right? And this does work, does exactly what you would expect. The problem with this though, is that for one, the color is locked to that specific sprinkle. So this curved sprinkle is always red, okay? And the short sprinkle is always white.
That looks cheap.
The other issue is that this is not easy to change the distribution of those colors. Like if I'm an artist and I'm looking at this, I'm like, that's kind of boring because all the colors is like 25% blue, 25% white, 25, you know. I want to have maybe 80% one dominant color and then a few splashes of complementary colors.
Oops.
I can't do that.
My bad.
So there is a much, much easier way. So first, let me just clear all of these, and I'm going to create one new material. I'm going to call it sprinkles, and I'll actually show you how to quickly apply the same material to multiple objects at the same time, because we haven't done that yet. So I'm going to grab my round sprinkle, which is
sorry, I spaced out. What did you do?
And I'll actually show you how to
one
dominant color and then a few splashes of complementary colors. I can't do that. So there is a much easier way. So first, let me just clear all of these, and I'm going to create one new material. I'm going to call it sprinkles.
Okay, so it's still selected on one of them. Okay, so new material. Where did you get that from? Materials thing here, new one. We call it Sprinkies. Okay, so now what are you doing?
To show you how to quickly apply the same material to multiple objects at the same time, because we haven't done that yet. So I'm going to grab my round sprinkle, which is currently still over there by itself. I'll just bring it over here so it's part of the family. There we go. All right, so I've got one object with the material that I want to apply them all to. What I need to do is shift select all the objects that I want to have that material, and then lastly, shift select again the object that has the material I want to apply them to, and you know that because it's
wait, no, I got lost.
The material.
See, this is why this also isn't good content. I keep getting lost because I'm trying to do things and then I space out. Let's move this up. Okay, that'll be adequate, I suppose. All right, what is he saying?
over there by itself. I'll just bring it over here.
I mean,
So it's
mine's
part of
already
the
colored,
family.
but
There we go.
it would probably be
All
better
right,
to
so
include it in
I've got
this.
one object with the material that I want to apply them all to. What I need to do is shift select all the objects that I want to have
Okay,
that material.
shift click.
And then lastly, shift select again the object that has the material I want to apply them to. And you know that because it's highlighted yellow, okay? Then hit Control L. This brings up the link or transfer menu, and we want to link the materials. And now you can see our material has a 5 next to it because 5 objects are sharing this material. And that's it. And now obviously because
what
they're
is a
linked,
5
it means
next
if
to
I
it?
make this highlighted yellow, okay, then hit Control L. This brings up
Okay,
the
so link
link or
materials.
transfer menu, and we want to link the materials. And
Oh,
now you
okay.
can see
That's
our
a
material
real
has
subtle
a
change.
5 next to it because 5 objects are sharing this material. And that's it. And now obviously because they're linked, it means if I make a change over here, they're all going to be reflected. Great. Now we're going to do something fancy. So let's go to the shading tab, which gives us access to our nodes. Oh dear, where have I? All right, let's go back. I'm trying to get to that sprinkle. Okay, to our nodes. Now,
Where'd
I
that
want to
icing go
introduce you to a little friend called Shift A, input, the object info node. A very weird
Hold
little.
on. Wait a minute. Why am I? When he switched over, he was also really
Go to the
far
shading tab,
out,
which gives us
but-
access to our nodes. Oh dear, where have I? All right, let's go back. I'm trying to get to that sprinkle. Okay.
Okay, so... Well, wait, where the hell are my sprinkles, then? Where the hell is my everything? They're like a, Oh, what was the thing where it's like if you actually click it, you'll manage to zoom in on that item? Let's see. Under? No, it's not double clicking on it. That's ID data, Microsoft asset view, show active. No, that wasn't it. Where did everything go? And why is my camera being strange all of a sudden? Oh dear. See, this is also why this doesn't make great content. I'm having now technical difficulties. I have no idea where anything is at the moment. Or why it just... Wait a minute, it all disappeared? What happened? Oh no, we gotta go back. How far back is it gonna let me go? Is it there nothing left anymore? It's nothing left anymore. Okay, well, time to reload the file. Open this again. Don't save. Don't know what just happened. I don't know why everything just suddenly got deleted. But great. Another good reason to leave this streaming concept. Okay, so let's try that again. Going to go back to this, add a material, pick all of these. Then, okay, let's see, do Control L, link materials. Wait a minute, is this... No, why is that selected? I don't want the flooring to be selected. Deselect that. Okay, Try again. Nothing else is selected. Good. Okay. L, link materials. That's good. Okay. Now. All right. So like you said, you can all change it. We can fuck with these and it'll be all reflected. Now he said, go into the shading tab. Just went straight to the shading tab. Okay. Link materials to multiple objects. So shading. What happened? Why does everything get deleted? Why is everything gone the moment I go to the shading tab? It doesn't do that for him. Well, everything except for the donuts is gone for some reason.
Right, so I've got one object with the material that I want to apply them all to. I want to this
Did this.
they're all going to be reflected.
Do that. It just
now,
clicks on the shading tab.
So let's go to the shading tab, which gives us access to our nodes. Oh dear, where have I? All right, let's go back. I'm trying to get to that sprinkle.
What the hell? Where's
to
my
our
sprinkle?
Nodes. Now I want to introduce you to a little
Where the hell is my
friend
everything?
called Shift A input the object info node.
Okay, but it's still okay. So a cylinder exists because it understands that this material thing is here, but it's not showing that it exists within the shading tab. What's the deal with that? Okay, time for Googling. Okay, so let's see here. I don't really want to Google in Firefox because I'm pretty sure I'm signed into my personal account on there. Let me just hide that in OBS then for a second. I swear, this is all the more reason to stop streaming this. This is unbelievable. Why? Why do I have some random fuck ass issue like this? Like it's just supposed to be switched to the shading tab. It should be easy. Nothing should be like just deleting and getting lost into the gray ether that this program is. Okay, switch to Blender shading tab. Your shading tab. Tab objects disappear. Can't see my objects in the shading tab. Okay, here's the layout. Oh, look, it's the tutorial. Okay. Right there. Blah, 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 blah. Create a new shading tab and the objects start showing up in the new tab. What do you mean a new shading tab? There's only one. Duplicate. Okay, that's real strange, but sure. From the view tab next to the selective. Wait, what? Oh, what's this other one? View tab next to the selective tab. Okay, this one. Go frame all. Well, it's definitely not that. Second stack exchange user, it was incorrect. First stack exchange user was correct, so. Yeah, sure. I don't know. We'll keep that shading around, but for the purposes of moving on with this, we'll just work in shading 0.01. Don't know what the hell that was all about. Okay. Okay then, back to the video and return to OBS. Can't forget that. There we go. Okay.
A very weird little.
So what did he want me to add now?
To our nodes. Now
Shift
I want to
A,
introduce you
Shift
to
S,
a little friend
Shift
called
A.
Shift A input the object info node. A very
info.
weird
All right.
little weird little node that just does some useful things when you might need it. So you see it pop up in a few tutorials. There's a bunch of stuff here that it can do. The most useful one for us in this instance is the random input. Drop that into your base color and let's see what happens. So we've got some gray values, and it's easier to see actually when you look at the donuts. So what this has done is it has assigned a value, a random value for
not going to need this for my model, but good to know.
Between 0 and 1. So because that's then being transferred to color information, it means that, for example, this sprinkle might have got a value of like 0.023, right? And the robot spat that out. And then this one, this whitish looking one, maybe this was 0.89 or something like that. Okay, so it's just transferred those values into color information, which is just blacks to whites. Not very useful right now, but we can use that, those numbers in I'll just show you. Okay, Shift A, we're going to go converter color ramp. Probably, I mean, I might have used this node more than any other node in Blender before. It's like so versatile, used for so many things. So drop it in here between the object info and the principled. And currently it is exactly the same because it's just it's transferring that data into a gradient value of the exact same shades.
Right.
But we can change this to any color that we want. And look at that. So you can very quickly see this is exactly how we're going to create sprinkles of different colors.
Okay, how did he access the colors? I thought it'd be as easy as clicking, but it was not.
It is exactly the same because it's just it's transferring that data into a gradient value of the exact same shades. But we can change this.
Well, it clicks on the bottom.
To any color that we want. And look at that. So you can very quickly see this is exactly how we're going to create sprinkles of different colors.
Okay, where are my colors?
The exact same shades, but we can change this.
Oh, right. That one on the side. Okay. All right, let's see. We'll just have a carnival of colors here. This. And then select the other one. I don't know, pink. That's kind of like... That kind of looks like the Hulk-themed sprinkles. Not a fan. Oh, here, for the Crash Icarus theming, we can, let's see, get towards the purple, and then remove this green. Well, green is part of our color scheme, so... I add another one? There we go. That'll probably make the gradient a little bit easier on the eyes. Don't want to have a hell of a lot of green. It's not a very prominent color for us. What are some other prominent colors on my character? Orange is not very prominent. Yellow is not very prominent. There's some brown. I don't feel like brown is a very complementary color to what's on there, though. Maybe we don't really want that. We can go back to gray, but that seems also pretty unappealing. What are some other things? We could just go for, I don't know, some random blue, I guess. For now, it doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. It don't matter. None of this matters. Couple other blue, dark blue in here. Yeah, that's fine. Do that. Maybe give the green a little bit more breathing room. A little bit more intense. All right. There we go. And cut down on the amount of blue to green transition sprinkles. All right. All right. That's hot. Okay. Back to the tutorial.
To any color that we want. And look at that. So you can very quickly see this is exactly how we're going to create sprinkles of different colors. Now, one thing you'll note looking at this is that every single sprinkle is a different shade. Like no two sprinkles have the same color right now because this is a gradient. And that's not how it works in the real world because the sprinkles come out of, one constant icing bag, right? Or a machine with the same food dye. So basically all the blue ones would have the exact shade of blue and all the orange ones would have the exact shade of orange.
Okay.
So we need to change this from linear to constant. And now if I slide this across, look at that. We are influencing what percentage now is orange or blue. And this is really cool.
Well,
Because it means you get to work like
that's
an
how
artist.
I want to do this.
And just create a really nice, appealing looking donut very, very quickly. So I'm going to go with like a light blue over here. And then I'm going to create a new color just by hitting the plus button.
Different
and
purple.
then let's give this a purple, like that. And I'll make this one pink, actually. Same shade as our donut. Why not? You'll note, by the way, that I'm not going like full saturation. And that's deliberate because you learn in art that, like saturation and color is quite
damn, I feel called out here.
And quite attention grabbing.
All right, fine.
And so if you use too much of it, it can be exhausting. So I tend to keep it at like 0.8. Okay, and then I'll also go over here and I'm going to make this white. Let's go, no, not like that. White, and I'm going to create another one next to it. And this one I'm going to make yellow. Okay, so just by sliding this around, I could say like less white, more yellow, less yellow, more white. And then I can go, more blue. It's just a really simple, easy way to create the exact.
I feel like the high saturation really works on this.
Awesome.
Then again, I'm not an artist, so what the hell do I know?
You don't have to do this next part, but it's so easy. Why not? I was looking on Pinterest on like aesthetically pleasing donuts.
If I want to have just like 4
really
yellow
cool.
sprinkles.
And I saw like metallic sprinkles, and I was like, that's an interesting idea. What if I made these white and yellow ones metallic, and then they would look silver and gold? So there is a slider in your principled BSDF.
Uh-oh, we're getting off topic. Hold on. You can do this real quickly. Come on now. All right, get a little bit of that unsaturated yellow in there. Maybe make that a little bit more orange. Yeah, there we go. We have like 6 orange sprinkles in there. Yeah, all right, cool. Let's move on.
Technical name that just means it's the shader that does everything.
Okay, so on this.
And it's the metallic shader. Look at that. So if I slide this all the way to 1, all my sprinkles are now metallic. And if I slide it all the way to 0, then they are non-metallic. And that's actually how you should use this slider. All materials in the real world are either non-metallic, also known as dielectric materials. So that would be most of the sprinkles.
All right, don't talk material science to me, all right?
Metallic, entirely metallic.
You definitely have half
There are
objects in the world.
a few rare materials on Earth that have some blend between it, but as a rule, you should not have a value that is between 0 and 1. It should be either 0 or 1. Anyways, so what we can do with this, because we've got this color ramp information here, is I can actually just convert, like I can make a color ramp that is just black and white that just shows which sprinkle is metallic and which one isn't. So if I duplicate this, and here's a pro tip, if you use Control-Shift-D, it will duplicate it, but it will retain its connection. So it just saves you, 1 second. And now I'm going to connect that into my metallic input. Now currently this is wrong because this information is, it's just using, it's like color. So we need to be black and white. So this one here, because this is going to represent my dielectric colors, I'm going to set this to black. So it is non-metal. And then this I can delete, and this I can delete, because on the left-hand side of it, it's all black. Sorry, so it's all non-metals. And then over here, these two,
you want to delete the whole thing?
The silver and the gold, they're going to be metal. So actually I can delete the gold. And now that's doing exactly what it should. So we've now got dielectric, non-metals, and metals.
See. And so if you want specific ones to be metal and specific ones to not be metal, that's how you can do it while still maintaining the randomness factor to it. Okay. Which ones do I want to be metal? I don't think I want, well, for this model, we want I want everything but the yellow to be metal, which that's a complicated ask considering how I have arranged everything. We also kind of don't want the glasses to be metal either. They're more like a weird light kind of thing. So let's see. We can keep the purple and blue, I guess, as metal. So do this. We'll change this to fully black, and then, and like we said, delete this. Add, paste, cut links. Now, how do we delete this color? Remove? No, not what that is. How do I just get rid of this? Minus? Okay. Then we also want to change this to white, I guess. Okay, well, now we have metallic blue, and you can remove this one. And yeah, metallic purple. Okay, great. Still think that looks a little strange. I don't like it being that metallic. But unfortunately, he's only going on the binary of 1 to 0 for that. But sure, we'll leave it that way. Why not? For the sake of argument.
The reason it doesn't look like metal, by the way, is because your roughness is here. So if you set it all the way down, you can see it starts to look a lot closer to a metallic sprinkle.
Yeah, okay.
And by the way, you can get the exact like position. You can go like 0.7 and then here 0.7, type it in, and then that way it's definitely correct. For whatever reason of mine, this has to be a bug. There's something weird about it. But there's one sprinkle on my donuts, probably not on yours, but it's like, it's purple up here, but then it crept over into the metallic category down here, which shouldn't be possible. But evidently, it's just on my donut. I've never seen it before, but one of them has actually snuck over. Doesn't matter. It's it can be the rare purple.
The factory defect.
All right,
That's funny.
But I don't want these other ones to be shiny, at least that shiny. So I'm going to again duplicate this, Control-Shift-D. And with this, if I plug this into my roughness input, just like before, these black and white values will decide what is the roughness of the metallic and non-metallics. So this one here, I want this to be essentially the opposite of what it is. Almost entirely black, a little bit, so there's a little bit of roughness to it, like that. And then this one over here, I want this to be a lot more diffuse. Not entirely diffuse, like somewhat of a blend, because if you look at reference, which you should be modeling off reference, there is some shininess to them. So yeah, but that is it. So you can see very quickly, we have created some very aesthetically pleasing donuts, and have fun with it, guys. Like, create a cool looking donut. You can use whatever color combinations you want. I really do like it when people experiment and not just follow
it in the wrong way
to a T, but like venture out there and do interesting things. So try different color combinations, try different icing colors, and you could make something that looks really cool.
No, hold on. That's wait. What did he manage to do again?
Like somewhat of a blend, because if you look at reference, which you should be modeling off reference,
first one.
there is
okay, so we did want it actually in that order. Okay.
Yeah, but that is it. So you can see very quickly, we have created some very aesthetically pleasing donuts, and have fun with it, guys. Like, create a cool looking donut. You can use whatever color combinations you want. I really do like it when people experiment and not just follow a tutorial down to a T, but like venture out there and do interesting things. So try different color combinations, try different icing colors, and you could make something that looks really cool. But that's almost it for our donut. It's pretty well done, which means we can now finally talk about rendering. So as a recap of part one, if you hit F12, that's going to put you into the rendered state. Our camera is really far away from the donut. So actually, let's first fix that. If you go to your camera view, you can just by clicking that little icon there, or by hitting number pad 0, that'll take you there as well. This is the camera view. We're really far away. I mentioned in the start that if you use this key, this button view lock camera to view. That'll let you like grab it and move it around. But there is actually another way. I didn't want to introduce you to too many keyboard shortcuts at the start. But if you hit with the camera selected, Shift tilde key, that will put you in fly mode. The other way to do that, by the way, is to just go
First-person camera mode actually makes so much sense.
Fly navigation there if you don't have that key. So anyway, in this mode, it's almost like you're playing a video game. So like it's just
now you're speaking my language.
Looking around my scene.
I know exactly what you want me to do now.
Is move forward, just like in a video game. A is strafe left, D is strafe right, and S is back. So WASD, just like a video game. I can also go up by hitting E and then down by hitting Q. Okay. And if it's too sensitive, like if the movement is like, crazy fast, the scroll wheel also decides how far, oh goodness, there it is, okay, how fast the movement is. So scroll down if it's going too quickly for you. But yeah, I can now place the camera wherever it is I want, and then when it's there, I just click, single left click, and that's there. And by the way, that mode is called fly navigation, and it works also not just from the camera view, but anywhere in Blender. If you ever want to just like, move around, you can do use that fly mode.
So why have you waited so long to tell us this? That makes way too much sense.
We do a render.
I would much rather navigate like that constantly.
Why is that? Well, for starters, it's not a very the scene has just got one light in it. But the primary reason, and by the way, yes, that's the rendered view mode, but also if you go to rendered view shading up there, this is the exact replica of that, but just in the viewport, okay? Now, the primary reason this looks bad is because of the renderer, okay? So Blender's default render engine, if you go to your render properties, is called Eevee. Now, Eevee is fast, but it is not accurate. If you are familiar with games, most of you probably are.
Wait a minute, how do I get out of the camera mode again? I jumped into it and completely forgot how the camera actually works. Do I grab anything else? No, it's not grabbing other things. How did he escape? How did he escape the camera mode?
We get something that looks hideous. Why is that? Well, for starters, it's not a very
escape. Okay, it's obvious enough.
The scene has just got one light.
Didn't want
to
accidentally blow things up.
But the primary reason, and by the way, that's the render view mode. But also, if you go to rendered view shading up there, this is the exact replica of that, but just in the viewport. Okay. Now, the primary reason this looks bad is because of the renderer. Okay, so Blender's default render engine, if you go to your render properties, is called Eevee. Now, Eevee is fast, but it is not accurate. If you are familiar with games, most of you probably are, Eevee is basically a game engine. So it's designed to be really fast. Probably not 60 frames per second, but really, really fast. And it's a...
Okay, wait, how do we get back here again? Pretty sure I accidentally found this previously.
Because of the renderer. Okay, so Blender's default render engine, if you go to your render properties, is called Eevee. Now, Eevee is fast, but it is not accurate. If you are familiar with games, most of you probably are, Eevee is basically a game engine. So it's designed to be really fast. Probably not 60 frames per second, but really, really fast. And it's in terms of the renderer types, there's usually actually, you call them like real time is what this type is, and that is a rasterized render engine. And then you have ray traced or path traced engines, sometimes called offline renderers, which are a lot more accurate but much slower. So this is good if you don't really care about realism. Like maybe you're making a title effect for a TV, thing, whatever.
Yeah, making something
or
very
you're on a really
stylized,
tight deadline, you just want to get something out fast. You can use Eevee. Now you can make it look better than what we have. Like for example, I think because we're using like really small sizes for our donut, you want to increase your cube size and then your lamp, the bias. There you go. You set that all the way to 0, and now it's more appropriate for this size. We've got title effect for a TV, thing, whatever. Or you're on a really tight deadline, you just want to get something out fast. You can use Eevee. Now you can make it look better than what we have. Like for example, I think because we're using like really small sizes for our donut, you want to increase your cube size and then your.
Oh wait, I think I'm on camera right now, so I think is that going to mess with things? Hold on, what does he have selected? I have the light selected. There we go. Okay. Camera data point. No, he doesn't have that selected. What did he select? To go all the way back here and figure out what the hell he selected. Okay, so
The primary reason,
light
and by the way,
selected,
yes,
render
that's the
mode.
rendered view mode. But also, if you go to rendered view shading up there, this is the exact replica of that, but just in the viewport. Okay. Now,
Okay,
the
right. You
primary
have the
reason
light
this looks
selected.
bad is because
Looks
of
bad,
the
blah,
render.
blah, blah. You're telling
Okay,
us how about
to your
EV
render
works.
properties is called EV. Now, EV is fast, but it is not accurate. But it is
Right.
not
So you're talking about EV, you're in the
path
render
traced
mode.
something out fast, you can use EV. Now you can make it look better than what we have. Like for example, I think the
Oh, he didn't
because we're
actually
using
leave
like
this. Okay, so you can just go to shadows.
really small sizes for our donut, you want to increase your cube size and then your lamp, the bias. There you go. You set that all the way to 0, and now it's more appropriate for this size. We've got shadows, but it's still not great. We don't, for example, have shadows on any of our sprinkles because
Wait
it's
a minute,
just
hold on. I don't have that many options on the data, do I?
bias. There you go. Really small sizes for our donut. You want to increase your cube size and then your lamp.
This lamp bias shadow. Okay.
The bias. There you go. You set that all the way to 0, and now it's more appropriate for this size. We've got shadows, but it's still not great. We don't, for example, have shadows on any of our sprinkles because it's just too fine a detail. And the shadow itself, it's just like a blurry mess. So it's just a fakery, and it's just like what's going on with video games. I will briefly mention also that Blender 4.1, which is what this is here, it's in alpha state at the time of this recording. I've been using 4.0 for this whole recording, but this is 4.1, and it's EV, but it's completely rewritten. And it is better, right? So the shadows are better.
Still 4.0.
There is actually even some bounce lighting happening.
Still have
kind
of
like
crappier shadows
bounce
then.
lighting. And it's definitely better, but it's still not great. So that is the limitation. It's fast, but it is not great.
Come on,
and that's what you get.
Hit us with the better engine then. Tell us to change the
real-time,
engine.
Engines. So there is another render engine. To go to your render engine settings and click the drop down. Ignore Workbench. That's for like just like basically rendering your viewport, really, for technical stuff. Cycles. So those are the two main engines of Blender.
Crap, right.
You've got Cycles and you've got EV. Cycles is
Cycles does not play nice with the
a path traced, also known as ray traced engine.
Pattern I filled.
Now
I picked out.
This looks way better than what we had before. You'll notice, for example, that all of our sprinkles have shadows. By the way, apologies if my recording gets a little choppy. It's because it's using the CPU. Anyway.
Okay,
you can
well,
see
another
it's
reason
got
to
proper
not be streaming
shadows
this.
on
I'm betting my
things.
recording
There's
is turning to
actually
shit as well.
bounce lighting, right? That's like coming off
Okay, how does
this
OBS
table
look
here,
right
and it's
now?
going underneath the donut. So it's like it's shooting around inside here.
Yeah,
and shooting back, and
horrible
it's going over
performance.
here, which is exactly what happens in the real world, and it's really important for realism to get that bounce. I mean, any room, any architecture, you basically have to use cycles to do it because that's how you get proper lighting like in the real world.
All right, well,
But you get all this for free.
this is
at the
turning to
cost
shit
of
really
speed.
quickly.
So
but
you'll
it
notice
does
as
look
I move
nice, at
around
least.
whilst my recording goes choppy that it starts grainy and then it kind of refines itself. And if you look in the top left-hand corner, you've got something that says samples. So as you leave it rendering longer, it's rendering more samples. Essentially, it's just like the computer's just chewing through it. There's technical ways to explain it, but that's the simplest way to think of it. And it'll get clearer as the longer you leave it. Now, there is actually two ways to calculate this. One is to use your CPU, which is what it's on by default. Another is to use your GPU, which
please, God,
is grayed
make it
out
use
by
the
default.
GPU.
So let's fix that. Go to Edit Preferences, and then go to System, and you can see at the top there, Cycles, Render Devices. So try switching to one of these tabs and see what you get. If you have a device, like myself, that is a GPU that is supported.
Hold on, where's it going?
These tabs, Edit Preferences, and then go to System, and you can see at the top there, Cycles, Render Devices. So try switching to one of these tabs and see what you get. If you have a device, like myself, that
please
is a GPU
use the
that is
NVIDIA.
supported,
Oh my God.
then you can render on that and it'll be way faster. So just as an FYI, CUDA is NVIDIA, and it's for like cards, like I think 1080 backwards, so like
well.
90s, 800s, I
Oh,
think.
old ones, you
They
mean?
used CUDA. Optics was around the 2000 series. Further on, so optics is the one that you use if you're using a NVIDIA card today.
A modern
HIP
laptop.
is for AMD
computer.
cards, and then you got
You
one
want your
API.
computer to
And
blow
I think
up.
actually on Apple devices you'll have a metal option. But see what you have, and then see if you can render with that, because that with GPU on now, it'll going back to this. It might actually, the first time you use your GPU, it will say, I think at the top left-hand corner,
Yeah, taking a couple
doing
seconds.
this for the first time, it'll do some pass. It'll be really slow. It might take like 2 minutes. But
Let's
then after
see,
you've
it
done that,
didn't
every
take at
time
least
you
2
open
minutes,
Blender,
but
you should never need to do it again. So it might be slow the first time you
a
activate
little
it,
faster, but
it'll,
I imagine
it'll
my
be faster.
stream is still
Now,
just
this
chugging ass.
is way faster than what we had before.
Oh no,
Like, you
stream
can
is
see how
stable now. How
quickly
about that
it's,
shit?
It's
That would have good to
clearing
know.
through those samples. It's basically real time. It's in fact, actually, so that noise that I mentioned, right? It's still there, but when you render and also in your viewport, you can use a denoiser. So it's actually not that new. It's like 3-4 years old. I think we started using AI denoisers. NVIDIA released their one for optics, and since then Intel have come out with one. And it basically takes that noisy image, it uses some of the information from the 3D renderer
looks
to
a lot
clear
better.
it out whilst preserving the detail. So if you can actually turn it on in
would
the
say
viewport by hitting the denoise one. If you've got an NVIDIA card, it'll be way better. If you don't, it'll have to use the Intel denoiser, which is a lot slower. But you can see the noise is practically
that's a
gone.
lot more viewable now.
So this
Wow.
is almost real time.
I mean, you can still see the
which is
problems
really,
in
really
the
cool.
actual surface, but
Now,
that's good.
obviously, not all of you are as lucky, right? I've got 4 3090s. I started on a
3090s, my
Pentium
God.
3, I think back in
Can't
2003.
believe having that many things on your computer.
And I mean, look, they made Toy Story on computers that you couldn't even sell today because they would be just garbage. Maybe you could for like nostalgic. Anyways, the point is that everybody, when they start 3D, is using a device which is crappy. Don't let it limit you, or don't think, oh, I can't use 3D until I get a better computer. A graphics card is definitely one of the best investments you can make if you're thinking like, I want to do this as a career. This is definitely for me. I'm really enjoying this.
But it's definitely good enough
It's
to get the
definitely a
job
good
done.
investment because you will be able to produce more renders throughout the day faster. But it is not essential. You can get by with just a CPU. It just means that when you do your render, your final render, instead of it being, done in an hour, you might have to leave it overnight. In the past, when I started with Blender, I was making crappy renders at like 600 by 400 resolution, and I was rendering for over a
nice, but
week
get on with it.
just to do a really crappy.
I like story
basic
time, but get
animation.
on with it.
Don't let it hinder you. It's totally normal that you'll have a bad computer. If it's for you in the future, definitely worth investing in a card that is fast. Also, if you want to know which card to buy, Blender actually put together
Okay,
an
we
open
can move on
benchmark.
from this. I don't
So if
need-
you go to opendata.blender.tools for the rest of this tutorial, and do go here, check it out if you want. All right, so we're going to be using cycles for the rest of this tutorial.
Cycles, yeah.
And we'll really dive into it in the next part, but I just want to quickly, my lamp is way, way away. So let's just bring that in closer just so that we can see things. And you can actually
Already
clear
ahead
the
of you.
rotation of an object to make it appear at the center of your 3D scene by tapping Alt-G. Okay, so now, hey, look, that's actually kind of cool. I'm going to move my lamp over to here. Just check my recordings. Yeah, my recording's not being affected. And I'll just now reduce the
Nothing's
strength of
happening
this
for me.
because it's obviously now way closer. But look at that. Like, look at the shadow that we get coming off this donut.
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
like
this looks good.
properly tapered.
just-
It's not
I'll
like
take
some
this angle,
fakery,
it's
so it's
fine.
like tight here, and then it's like really faded at the end there. That kind of stuff is really difficult to do with a rasterized real-time engine like EV. And you also get like all of this proper, like look at the shadows on the sprinkles, the reflections.
I gotta say, that is
actually
impressive.
true.
I didn't
It's
think
not
it
like
could look that
guessing
good.
and fakery.
That makes me
it's a type
rethink
of
about how
fakery, but
engines look
it's
actually
much
on
more
games.
accurate.
I didn't think it actually was that
Anyways,
bad.
I like cycles. I'm a cycles guy. I think most people actually are. The first version of Eevee was not that great. Eevee Next in 4.1 might be better. We'll see. But yeah, the first version of Eevee was not really that great. Now, one thing you might notice looking at your donut, they're going to make one big tweak to this, is that it kind of feels hard. Like the donut doesn't give this kind of like soft feeling to it.
Yeah,
And
the icing
reason for
feels
that
almost
is the
like
material. So
yeah,
by
it
default,
feels
all
too
materials
plastic-like.
are kind of like hard materials, but fleshy objects like humans as well as food have subsurface scattering. So I'll throw some reference photos here. But you can see this is my hand. I had light
Right,
coming in
light
like
goes
as I was
through
eating
it.
breakfast, and I can see the light is actually going through my fingers.
I don't
Right?
have to worry about
So
that,
that's light
that
that
too
is,
much. What
like,
I want to make is,
yeah, it's a
well,
mushy, fleshy
metallic,
object, so
robotic,
it's passing
so
through it,
it's going to be very
scattering
reflective.
amongst all the other atoms in the finger, and it's the light is going through to the other side. You also see it in a lot of food. So took these photos at a party. Yes, I am that guy. But you can see that's how you get light that goes to the opposite sides. My daughter was eating a banana, and I was like, look at that banana. Look at that subsurface scattering right there.
Not to take a picture of your
Donuts
own
and
daughter,
icing
just to have a picture of banana.
that. And we can do that. We can add that, sorry, by going to the materials. And then down here, you've got subsurface. Okay. So here, the biggest one to turn it on, and just like metallic, apparently, this is, by the way, a new setup for 4.0, but just like metallic, it's supposed to be a weight of either 0 or 1. All right. Now, when you do 1, it suddenly turned blue, and you're like, what the hell happened there? That's because the radius, this radius, is this is your X, Y, Z, but also it's your R, G, and your B in this case. And these values are different because it's designed for skin by default. So this is a great setup if you've got skin with blood inside, but we don't. So click, drag down, and then just set these
Conveniently, I
values
want
to
something
1.
blue.
All right, so now it's closer to the material. Still looks weird, and that's because the scale of this
What did
is
else
different
fix?
because it's
Just put
designed
these all to
for
1.
skin by default. So this is a great setup if you've got skin with blood inside, but we don't. So click, drag down, and then just set these
Hold
values
on.
to
I didn't mean to select my sprinkles. Did I do that on accident, or is that just what this interpreted it as? Okay, why? I just want the icing. Yeah, so select just the icing. I was also selecting the donuts. The sprinkles are not part of the. Oh well, no, they are technically because right. Because we had to kind of parent them together. Okay, makes sense. Subsurface, turn that all the way on. How does that actually look on the sprinkle itself? It definitely helps reduce them being so overbearingly metallic. Oh boy, okay, too far of a wait. Didn't think I could go past 1. Ooh, I can make it look green this way. Okay, let's get them all to 1. Okay, color is definitely off now. And now it's going to talk about scale.
Right, so now it's closer to the material. Still looks weird, and that's because the scale of this is wrong. It's saying that the thickness of the object is 5 centimeters, but this icing is not that. So let's make this 0.01, and now you can see it looks a lot closer. It's still a little dark, because I think it's not 1 centimeter thick, so let's go 0.005. And now we can see it's pretty close to its original material.
Play with it until it looks like what you wanted it to look like.
If I just zoom right in here, let's set it to what it was before. See how it's hard? It almost feels like it just feels like concrete, right? But then you set this to 1, and look at that. The shadow just starts to feel a little softer, and you get this bleed effect where kind of like the shadow gets like an edge to the shadow where it gets a little more saturated and pinker. And that's subsurface scattering. You don't have to tell it how to do that. It just does it. So
wow. It looks a lot less
1, these to
sterile.
1, and then you just set your scale to
it's blended a lot more.
And I'm also going to do it for my sprinkles.
Good to know.
So I'm just going to click on one of my sprinkles. And
oh, now you can affect the sprinkles separately.
Yeah, right in here. For the subsurface, I'll just do the same thing. Set the weight as 1. These radiuses to 1, and then I'll use a really low value here. Like let's go 0.0.
You just select all the long sprinkles? What do you do?
And I'm also going to do it for my sprinkles. So I'm just going to click on one of my sprinkles.
Oh, just one of them. Okay.
Yeah, right in here. For the subsurface, I'll just do the same thing. Set the weight as 1. These radiuses to 1, and then I'll use a really low value here. Like let's go 0.02. And now you can see, because these sprinkles are, yeah, it's like icing, right? It's just the exact same thing. Yeah, we want some of the light to pass through it. And we don't actually have to bother setting up that, that color ramp system for the metal, because metals automatically, that shader, when you set it to 1, it means it's going to cancel any subsurface scattering that would have appeared there. So we don't have to bother with it. The subsurface is not going to happen on metals. But you can see it starts to feel a lot softer, a lot, I don't know, more pleasing, more delicious looking, like real food, because that's really one of the telltale signs of food is subsurface scattering. Awesome. So in the next part, we're going to start really building out the scene. What I want to do though, at the end of this video, I want to give you some homework, and that is to try to model this plate. Now we're going to do it actually in the next part, but it's simple enough, and it's actually possible to use all the tools that I've mentioned in this, this series so far to model this yourself. Now the reason I
guess I'll give that a shot for a little while.
Once this tutorial finishes, that's how it's going to be. You're going to have to try to solve problems on the fly. So it definitely helps solidify learning if you can try to apply it.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the challenge. I can't remember.
It doesn't matter if you get stuck or you fail at it terribly, because you can just click the next part and see how it's done. But have a go at it now, because then you'll start to, you'll just retain the information a lot better. Anyways, go ahead, click here and see.
Okay, well, back to the stream playlist, and let's get started. I know we can do Shift A. That'll just, hold on. I had to adjust my windows. Shift A. That'll give us. We probably want to start with a. Let's see. Oh, is that a flat circle? Uh-oh. Where is that? Let's just change the renderer for a second here. We don't need to be on cycles at the moment. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay. What the hell is this? We need to get out of the shading mode. Let's go to animation rendering, scripting, layout. Well, hold on. Let's save before we go any further, because Blender has a tendency to crash a lot. All right, you know, I'm not entirely sure what's happening here, so let's just undo until this goes away. All right, let's try again. Shift A, circle. What the hell? What on earth is that? Oh, maybe I just haven't been out this far. No, I would have noticed that. Why is it only appearing now that I want to add a disk? If I add anything else, is that going to... Oh my god, what is it doing? Okay, it seems to be trying to add... It seems like it's trying to add items onto the sprinkles themselves? But why? I don't have any sprinkles selected. Have the plane selected. Shift A. No, right, wrong. Shift. That was Shift S. Circle. What is it doing? Why is it? So we're on step like negative. We're on step 0 right now. I'm just trying to create an item, and for some reason, it feels the need to attach it to sprinkles. Why? There's no relation. I don't understand. If I do a plane, it just turns into this mess. If I grab it and move it, what does that do here? It grabs everything along with it. For some reason, it wants to create like a linked item. Putting this in the render stuff here, putting this in this. Maybe if I don't know, make a new collection and then try to add something to it. Like, is that gonna be the secret sauce? Okay, apparently it is. I don't know. I have no idea how the hell this thing thinks. Okay, circle, grab, move here. Why is the circle transparent? Oh no, it's not transparent. It's just like literally a circle. It's not like a
course, it's not. Why would it be a disk? That would be too easy. Modifier generate. Volume to mesh. No, I don't want that. If anything, I want the opposite. Solidify? Wait, what is this telling you to do? I know I said I could do it, you know, just from my base of anything, but like... Okay, well that's a start, but not quite. Circle, edit, vertex weight, edit, generate, bevel. No, I want bevel later. Screw, skin, solidify, subdivision circus. No, circus, subdivision circus. That could be a name for me fucking around in Blender. Deform, no. Physics, also no. Hair, geometry nodes. Is there not anything better I could add? Maybe it might just be easier to start from a cone. So I started with a cone. Oh, no, hold on. I have to... How do I move that origin point again? No, that's moving the sprinkle. I don't want to do that. How to move origin point in Blender. Object origin. Let's see. Each object has an origin point. The location of this point determines where it is in blah, blah, blah. Small circle appears. Known the origin point. That's not quite what I'm talking about. Moves the origin of the model. No. I don't know. Spawn point Blender. Maybe that'll. Object spawn on cursor. I have no idea what you mean by spawn. Okay, so that's definitely something that answered by someone who's definitely not a gamer. But alright, 3D cursor. Origin for any added object can be used to move the snap tool. Shortcut to place it at the center. Shift C. That's not what I'm looking for. The 3D cursor tool is used the origin. Can be used to move to the snap tool. Hell is the snap tool. Is that what this is? Oh, okay. Well, that makes things a lot easier. It's just one button. It's just one button dedicated to that function. That feels like maybe it's a little bit. That feels maybe a little excessive and unnecessary, but sure. Okay. So let's see. We're doing the cone here. We want. That's going to affect the depth, so we want a depth of 0 because we just want a flat plane. Okay, we can definitely reduce the radius a little bit. We have to kind of eyeball this, considering I can't really fix it that easily later. But sure, we can make a plate about that big. Radius 2, not going to matter. Just leave that alone. Depth of 0.01 meters. Okay, plates are thin, but they're not paper thin. Oh, right, because it's a cone. We can't really do that. We'll have to do the like thickening tricks for the within the modifiers. Location X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. Vertices 32. We definitely don't need a hell of a lot of them for this. Oh, wait, no, we do. That's going to determine our roundness. But we just want to start off with something that kind of vaguely looks circular, not perfect. We can always add a modifier later to fix that. I think 20 is probably a good point to jump off from. Ngon, generate UVs, align with the world. Alright, great. Okay.
So now we can get into the modifiers. We probably want to add, let's smooth things out first. Those were like subsurface modifiers, something like that. Yeah, this was under this section. No, that was materials. We don't want that. Edit, generate deform, smooth, physics, no, cloth, all that stuff. That's not what we want. Edit, UV warp, generate. Oh wait, that's what it was. Huh. Okay. It's smaller now? Why did it do that? I mean, that's generally what I want. It's also not actually circular anymore. Oh, simple. Okay, simple is much better for this application. Although it doesn't seem to actually be changing anything. So, no, it's not what we need for this purpose. Adaptive subdivision. That's not what we need. Advanced. Keep boundaries. Shade smooth. Is that what we needed? Well, it's almost what we needed. I mean, we can keep a frilled plate. Like that looks like it would look cool, but it's also bothersome that that's not what we were just going for. Okay. Now simple. Now the simple shading is doing something really weird. All because we did some smooth shading. This doesn't feel right. Time is it? Anyway, okay. Any other modifiers that might make sense for this? This doesn't feel like something I really want to keep. Triangulate volume to mesh, wireframe. No, not quite. I mean, I don't know. It was okay before, but it's looking a lot worse now. I didn't think it would look a lot worse with the subdivision surface on. Okay, I guess shade smooth at least helps with that. But does it... maybe we'll just do the bevel part first and we can fix things later. Probably not. It's probably a bad way to think of things, but... Okay, don't know why we have ones that keep resizing. Okay, what direction is the bevel taking it? If it is even going in a direction. Okay, that's just making it smaller for some reason. This is not doing a hell of a lot.
Wasn't this how we did it on like a cylinder? Like if I just add a cylinder. That is a huge cylinder. Okay, let's just scale that right on down. And actually the cylinder might be the more appropriate object to use the more I think of this. But yeah, if I do this and add, generate a bevel. Yeah, this is what it's doing. Need to add more segments to make the bevel smoother. And you can actually notice the bevel with smaller numbers of segments. What's it doing in the vertices mode? Oh, it's smoothing this. Okay, that's cool, but not what we need. At least, maybe not yet. Okay, well, let's delete that. It might be ultimately what we come back to, but what if we just go into edit mode here? Oh, that's all the geometry nodes we have to work with? only on the outside and the one on the center? I guess I shouldn't have expected anything less from generating a cone. Okay, so maybe we do want that sphere, or that cylinder after all. That's still not a lot to work with. It's kind of difficult because, like, when you start off with like a torus, like, yeah, you get a lot of points to work with. There's definitely no issues with that. When you don't start off with one, there's a lot less to work with. Okay, so maybe I just need to, what did I need to do here? It's like Shift E. No, what's the way to like create more? Creating more vertices. Like if I had just selected these two, like E to extend. Okay, E to extend. But now we need to kind of go back to selecting all, so just select E again. All right, well, I could choose what axis to kind of make this. Issue is a little bit more that I need to make this smaller. Okay, so we want this all to be 0. And then, let's see, mirror editing, proportional editing. Scale it down. All right. Yeah, because we can start making bevels based off of this. This 0, and now scale it down again. We probably want 1 or 2 more transition. Let's see, pieces to scale here. Can I scroll down to make this more sensitive? No? Probably can. There's probably just some setting I'm missing. I always notice how, like, whenever I try to select anything in Blender, it always, or like, you hold shift to like try and move the camera around a little bit to drag. It always takes a second to actually register that I've pressed shift. It doesn't always do it instantly, and it bothers my gamer brain that expects everything to be instantly gratified. Okay, so E again. Get it close, just so I don't have to bother with a lot of things. Okay, and now scale. Okay, that'll probably be good enough to work with. Well, we need to also make sure that the plate curves up gradually. It's not all just at the end. Well, it's mostly at the end, but we need to have a little bit of insurance for something outwards like that. Okay. So, this is still just one object? Good, it's still just one object. How does this look if I change modes? Ooh, it's looking a little strange when I'm moving it around in render mode. But I think that's, yeah, no, I mean, that's just render mode being render mode. Okay. Okay, now, what was it? Like control click? No, I have to... Okay, control click, I could just individually add those, but there's like a shift command for this. Oh, shift right click, that's how I move that. Okay, that's good to know. Shift A? No, that's adding things. Shift control click. No, that's doing that. Alt click? Hey, alt click. I remembered something. Okay. So if I want to do just select rings like that, I could. What if I do some beveling now? Is that going to do good or is that going to do bad? It looks like it's going to at least make things smoother, but also not exactly what we want to do right now. So, okay, I think if we just then start alt-clicking all of these, alt-shift-clicking all of these. Oops, no, just barely missed the dot. Okay, now if we start, if we have to turn on proportional editing. Where was that again? It's this, okay. And then it's just like the function of it, yeah. We probably want the sharper proportional editing because we want it to mostly affect the rim. All right, now if I were to grab this. Okay, no. I thought I was just able to grab. No. How do I move things again? Move the view. Move items. No, that's moving that. Excuse me. Oh, this is like the most basic function. How do I forget how to use this? I thought it was just G for grab. But it seems to be grabbing that whole object. Do I have the whole object selected on accident? Or is it that I've selected all the rings and therefore it's like I've selected the whole object? Okay, well no, I definitely don't have absolutely everything selected. What if I just like clicked off a couple? Is that going to... No. This should be easy. What the hell? Oh, what am I forgetting? What, like, simple tool am I forgetting about? Rotate, scale, transform. No. I mean,
in edit mode, so I'm in the right place. Alright, I need to refer to the earlier videos now. I have completely forgotten the most basic of commands. Like part 2? Is that where he started actually messing with the donut? Alright, so
Now we know how
the
Blender
hell do I do
functions
this again?
for us by
This
mistake.
is embarrassing. I feel
It's
like I
gone, right?
really
Because
should
Blender
remember
has assumed
this.
you have moved on. You've accepted the state of your donut. I will always see this as looking weird. It's got a bunch of little points on it with lines as before. And if I want to move this, then I would simply tap G, right? And you can see it's now attached
Wait a
to my
minute, I'm not
cursor.
crazy.
And then
It's
if
G.
I want to confirm its movement, I just do a single left click, and there it is. Now, if I go back into object mode,
I'm I'm not crazy. It is just G. But why isn't that working then? It's moving the whole object. I guess except for maybe that one point. But it should be changing the geometry if I'm doing that then, shouldn't it? Okay, so the proportional editing is just too strong? Also, okay, I see. I have just like explicitly made several discs instead of dividing. Damn. Okay, instead of dividing this into more points. How do I just make something then that is a disc but has a bunch of points on it? So already this entire geometry shape is just done. It's not good. We can at least leave it as a reference for anything else I might want. Okay, is there... Construct a grid mesh? What does that mean? Ah, okay. Well, if I wanted it to be like that, then... That's, I mean, fundamentally, that's kind of what I want, but it's also completely lacking the, you know, being a circle part of it. So I don't want that. A sphere? Maybe? Maybe that's what I want? Then I'd have to end up collapsing the rings. Oh, but then that's the thing though, right? If I end up just deleting the top and bottom portions, it's just gonna be a big ring on the outside. So that's not what I want either. Okay, so now get rid of this. And what if I just make like a weird torus? Like if I have no radius. Okay, well, we have to have some radius. Hold on. Well, that's a ring. That's something. We're getting somewhere. No, but that's not... That's definitely not what I want. I just want a disc. How do I make a disc? Anyway, I can just like connect the geometry? Extrude vertices, connect vertex path? Creating edges and splitting faces? What? Invalid selection order.
What do you mean? I don't know what that means. Not connect these vertices. I guess that's only 3 of them. What if I select 4? Invalid selection order. Fuck off. What do you mean? Okay, connect the damn vertices already. New edge face from vertices? Okay, that's a little more like it. So, okay. Okay. What if I just make a bunch of concentric rings then? Like this. Then we can actually put this together. I'm sure there's a faster way to do this, but, you know, the whole thing about testing yourself, right? Okay, so we'll just do a bunch of these like this. Cool. Now I'll add another circle. 0.98. Seven. 96, and then we'll add one more for grid measure towards the middle. At like, let's say, yeah, 0.9. All right, now if we do Shift Alt A on all of these, and I do this to quickly make, all right, I can do this to quickly make a shape. Move it. Oop, uh-oh, what is it doing? It also selected the cone nose for some reason. Come on, I just want to zoom in. Don't make this more difficult than it needs to be, Blender. Okay. Unselect that. No. Why is it acting as if it's selected? I don't want that. Okay, strange. Anyways, we could just probably delete this now. I don't want this. Delete, I don't know, just delete everything? Like, for all the vertices? Okay. It's better. Delete, just delete everything, man. I don't want this anymore. Delete the cone. Cone sucks. Why? Why is this considered part of the cone? Why on earth is this considered part of the cone? It's not a part of the cone. It was its own object. Again. Items made for people who don't use computers. All right, fine. We'll just do it again. Just do it again. Pain in the ass. Whatever. We can at least start smaller this time. Let's I don't know. Start at 0.2 meters. I don't know. Well, sure. 0.25. No, that's a little too large. Yeah, start at 0.2 meters. For the kind of inner size of the plate, and then we'll go outwards from there. Be a big plate, it's fine, whatever, don't worry about it. Oh, now it's creating them separately. Now it recognizes that I want separate items and not just one massive conglomerate of circles. Stupid program. Come on, Blender. I liked you. I liked you when I installed you. Don't make me think otherwise. Don't make me think I made a mistake. I don't know why I insist on clicking and dragging when I can just literally click the button and get this size I want. Great. Now I can select all of these and convert to one curve. No, that's not what I want. Hit smooth, join into one object. Okay, and now not shading smooth. Go into edit mode. There we go. And now new edges and faces. All right, finally, we did it. Now if I do this, okay, that just grabs everything again. What if I deselect some points? That's still grabbing everything. It's not just grabbing... Okay, what is the problem here? Select mode, edge select, vertex select. Yeah, I just want to select vertices. I don't want to be selecting the whole damn plate. But that's what it seems that it thinks I want to happen. Not what I want to happen, in fact. Is it... Okay, it's looking like there's a lot of Z fighting. I think it's because it thinks that I wanted to have every single point joined to every other single point. So, I mean, I guess the shape I would want to make would be, like, doing this very slowly. I don't... There's gotta be a faster way to do this. There has to be. This program is better than subjecting people to do this. Extrude vertices mean... Okay, no, that's what I was doing earlier. Connect vertex paths by the selection order, creating edges and splitting faces. Okay, it still seems to hate it when I try to actually do that. Can I vertex pairs? Also doesn't like that. Subdivide, shear. Merge it. No, that's definitely not what we want. Okay, well, that's not helpful. All right, I don't know. I guess I'll just do this the slow and arduous way. Hey man, I just did double F. Did that kind of do what I want? No, it's still also moving the whole thing when I just want to grab one point. Why? Okay, back to Google. Blender, whole object grabbed. Whole object moves when grabbing one point. Alright, come on, Reddit. Proportional editing on, I guess the size is bigger than usual and covering the whole thing. Just switch off the proportional editing and try it again. Is that really it? But okay. Okay, whatever. Can I do this then, not so tediously? Oh no, this is going to be tedious no matter what, huh? It really does not like creating all these new faces. Well, I can make them in small groups at a time, though, it seems. It doesn't get too pissy from that. It seems to understand that I want... Or maybe it doesn't seem to understand. There's a lot of weird clipping going on with those further off points. Okay, no, it doesn't like that. All right. Well, to save everybody the boredom of me going through this and then probably ultimately just finding a better way, I think I'm going to cut stream here. That's yeah, I think this is the end of Blender streams for a while. This was not I wouldn't watch this. This is boring. And it's just me getting frustrated at a new program. So if you're a VOD watcher, thank you for checking it out for some reason. Art streams will return one day, but currently definitely not ready to go into Blender and start streaming my progress in it. So, and I'm out of other things to just be making, so some days might just turn back into me, I don't know, doing Blender on my own, posting any progress on Twitter, something like that. But yeah, thanks for looking at this video. I'll be back tomorrow and Tuesday with actual content, actual Mega Man content, something I can talk confidently over and have fun with. Yeah, thanks for looking. Like the fourth, thanks, and thank you. Every VTuber just can't stop saying the word thanks. So I guess I'm no different. Same thing with So, all right, I'm ending the broadcast. Talk to everyone later. Bye.